Hey, good morning, guys. It is August 7th. My battery was going dead, so I flipped my iPad around and plugged it in. Different views today. So I was um, I was reading Chambers, and it just had a realization. That's kind of a weird perspective change. So Chambers is in Luke 2:49, where Jesus is found as a young boy, um, and it's when his parents find him in the temple when they come back after missing him after their journey out of Jerusalem, and they come back and he says, "Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" And so Chambers takes that, and then he challenges us to change our perspective a little bit about how we think about our life. And he said, he says here in the first paragraph, "Do I look upon life as being in my Father's house?" The change of perspective that I had, I was thinking, we like to say the word my and I and me a lot. And I think even when I say my life, it's an interesting um, I don't this sign of possession, like I own it, it's my life. And and I think that's one of the things that gets us in trouble, in all honesty, that it's my life. And what Chambers, I think, wants us to do is kind of flip, and what Jesus would do with us is kind of flip that script a little bit and say, no, this is, God has given you this life in which to live, and you need to realize that you're living in God's house, not your own. You're living in the life that God's granted you, not your own. This is not your own. And I think even the idea of saying my life, or um, the me, the taking ownership of my life, my circumstances, sometimes I think is a little backwards. Anyway, all that said, Chambers says here, which I really like about this concept that Jesus brings up in the temple: the abiding reality is God, and His order comes through the moments. Am I always so to keep in this perspective of I'm living in this place that God has established, the life that He created for me. I'm living there, and it's not mine, it's His. And Chambers is saying, am I always in contact with reality, being God, the capital R reality, God? Or do I only pray when things have gone wrong, when there's a disturbance in the moments of my life, not realizing that every moment is part of His life for me? I don't think I've done a great job, and I apologize, of kind of explaining what this kind of paradigm shift is a little bit, being about my Father's business. I just think the thing that struck me was just not to take ownership of my own circumstances, not to take ownership of my own um, the life that has been built around me, because to think that it has too much to do with me is taking God out of the equation. And then we don't realize that we're living in the Father's house, that I must be about my Father's business. And I really like what Chambers says here: are the graces of His ministering life working out through you? Okay, so are the things that He's trying to do in the life that He has established for you, are they coming out? Are they working themselves out in your home, in your business, in your domestic circle? And so I think the danger is that we take ownership, too much ownership, even as believers. I think obviously prior to confessing faith in Christ and submitting our will to God, obviously we think we own our own destiny and our own life. But even as believers, I think sometimes we struggle with this idea that it's mine. It's mine to give. It's mine to own. It's mine to spend the way I will spend it. And I think I even pointed this out one other time: is we are spending God's money. We are spending what He's given us is His, and we are spending it. It's the parable of the talents. He's given us something that we are then responsible for spending in a way that will produce fruit. And so this idea of ownership, that I own my life is, I think, something that unfortunately is a little pervasive. And that's just a matter of our flesh. So anyway, today I would say be about your Father's business. And then realize, and then there's peace in that. Actually, there's kind of an ability to just, because I've been a little stressed lately with something going on in my life, and I'm thinking, well, if it's his business and his life that he's living out through me, that he created, he even created the good works ahead that I'm supposed to be doing. I think, well, then I can relax a little bit. I can just exhale and relax. So hopefully you guys have the same peace. Have a great day.